This is McCook's Mr. Bill. You notice some of my garden area is starting to get quite a few weeds in it. One of the blessings I have is a push hoe. Bill Stanky made, custom made push hoe. He's long gone, but his hoe still works for me. Works very simple. You just lay it there and it goes right over right under the ground, and right through the roots and over them, and slips the plants, gets rid of the weeds with one action. No pesticides needed. It disrupts the weed system. It buys you time before you're ready to plant a given crop. It keeps your garden weed free. It allows you to do that without getting on your hands and knees. If you don't own a garden hoe, a push hoe like this, you should. It's worth its weight in gold to me. There are many ways to make your spring and summer garden better, and to do it in the cheapest possible way that you can. Now, I know that a lot of people will take and sprinkle their garden with hoses or with all different types of watering systems that put a lot of water in a general area. Even if you go around with a pitcher and pour water on the tabletop of your garden, 90% of it, they say, 90% will not get to the roots that it's supposed to go to. I don't think you want to waste that kind of resource that way. I realize that in this world of wastefulness, most people ignore that and just simply do it their way. But there are other alternatives. You can get this kind of container, big mouth containers and all sorts from restaurants and things like that. They just throw them away. What you can do, take a drill, I'll put it down there for solidness, and that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Poked a little bitty hole in there, I did. And then I'll take a rock and I'll put that down in there to hold it down. Now, the reason to hold it down is because we get wind in southwest Nebraska. But that rock does two things. It will also leach out ever so slight amount from that rock minerals and make your water better for the plants. And as far as water goes, if I can get that in there without making a mess, I think I can. And if you can see, that little bit of dribble of water will take quite a while to get onto the ground, and it will soak in so much easier. It will soak in so easy and get deep into the root system where it directly needed to be put. Consider this type of inexpensive drip water system, if you will. It will be a blessing to you and your family. You might also take and grind up some aspirins and put a little salt in that water too. Just a little bit, because there's trace elements in the salt that'll make your garden do a lot better. There's all sorts of things you can do. I'll turn that way. Something else you might be interested in is making yourself a trash basket. You can make one from just thrown away wire, mesh wire. This is 1/2-inch stuff, coated so it's easy to pick up. And yet, here in Nebraska, we get a lot of high winds. If you have a trash can, it'll tip it over and dump the stuff, and it'll blow all over, and you get to pick it up again. I find that these work extremely well. Lightweight, the wind goes through them, so not going to knock it over. Big enough that you can put a lot of trash in there from your yard and your neighbor's yard. But needless to say, things like this for next to nothing, and it makes your life easier when you're out gardening and enjoying your yard. This is McCook's Mr. Bill, hoping that you have a great and a safe spring and summer gardening season.